Yeah, good day. Welcome to today's lecture. We are going to continue our mentorship web application, right? Where in our previous video we make the login function, right? We want to make a post request to login, right? So after we log in, we are going to be redirected to the home page, right? And now we've tested it with console log this value and it's coming out from our console. That's good. So once again, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please, I will encourage you to do so, so you will be able to participate in our next tutorial and our next video. Yeah, you get notification. Please like this video if you find it interesting or if you learn from this. Right. So on like what I've said, I would like to first do this first. I would like to first connect the front end with the back end. You understand? So we can have a working um application. For instance, now here we want to make a post request to that API we created at the back end. So we now actually connect them together, right? So we need to do that first. And second, yes. So I think we should go to the front backend first. Let's go to the backend. This is my backend folder. This is my backend folder in my index.js, right? I'm supposed to accept origin for this. I think we've installed course before, right? This course now. It's the time we are now going to be using our course, right? We'll be using our course for our backend application, right? We'll be using our course here. Our course will allow us successfully do what, connect the two database together. You understand? So yeah, as we've used cookie pasta here, we're just going to be going as uh app.use. What are we using? Course, right? Course. You understand, right? Yeah. So this place, right? You can make use of your env. You understand, to put in some values here, because we need origin of where we want to accept, and she's giving us origin of what we want to accept. You understand? You can just put in whatever front end you want it to communicate with your backend here, but this is not our front end, right? And here we want it to be right with credentials, right? No credentials. I think it's just, yeah, like this. We want it to be true, right? Uh, and we want our method. We want to have some method that we want to be calling. What is this? Methods, right? We want our methods to be what do you want to be, what functions do we want to be using, right? This should be a comma, right? We want to from the front end, we want to make use of get method, right? We want to make use of what, put method, right? We want to make use of delete method, right? Delete method. What else? um and post method, very important. We're supposed to do for patch too, you understand, to update our profile. But now, yeah, we might decide to have more than, let's do this const origin, and let's limit allow origin. Let's do like this. Origin, I think I'm right. You should make it in an array. All right, you can add 2 or 3 applications here if you want, right? So you can now, this array you can now call it here if you interact with this one, or you can also put in those env files here if you want to be in a javascript function like that. So what is even, I don't even know my front end this thing again. If we use Uh, okay. That is our front end that we roasted. That is the main reason we roasted our front end. Let me go to my pass. Okay, this is my front end. I feel. Yeah, this is my front end. Then just come here. Okay, white screen. Right. You can just put it here. Wait, this is my front end. So like this, it will allow my front end to communicate with this backend. You understand? So and I don't know. You can just use this our local host too for now in case we are having this. I don't know. It's not run our front end application. Let's just run our front end. So I want to get what's this? Okay, sorry, my bad. Do not go to the file that you want to work on. So I would also like to take this URL too. You understand? Local, but it's not actually necessary. You understand? You can decide to just use it down. But this one, because I want to be using it, right? What else? What else? I think let's allow it as to you understand cover. Let's do allow it. Yeah, this is it here. Then you can do contact type. I think. We have an authorization. Those one for our day job. It's when we are trying to split in. This is how we wrote it now. Right. Yeah. So for this to actually work, we need to like update our backend. How do you update our backend? We need to send it to our GitHub, you understand? So my automatically it will work on our render, right? So I think this is what we need. Let's just do if it's not broken anything, let's check npm on npm start. Yeah, I think we are good to go. We are good to move up. Yeah, let's do yeah git add right git commit then with your message yeah course you can put anything you want as a commit message then git push I'm using master here normally I usually use main git push with origin and master then our backend is updated right so now we should now work on our front end so what do you want to do on our front end we need this API to do post request, but by default, we cannot be writing our APIs in all these files. Actually, it's supposed to have another folder getting our APIs, you understand? So for other measures, you can see people writing, getting their folders here and putting their APIs and just importing them and working with them with the parameters, you understand? But because don't want us to get confused too much, that's why I'm actually following these steps. There are some things I would have done, you understand, but those for beginners level. And again, we want us to get and this um our backend have allowed our front end. Now we want our front end to actually work with our backend. So how do we do that? We actually need use context API. I don't know. I think we have some we have to. I think in our class when we start after this session, we are going to be starting a new class. So I'll be explaining all the hooks for you. We have use state, use effect, use content, use memo, use ref. I will explain how they works and how you can use them um, professionally. You understand? So now let's try to use our what is it called? Use content API. You understand? Let us do this. Where you can actually do this where you have this here. You understand? You can just so a component like that, but let us do content. Let's use context. You understand? So content. Your TSX. Oh, right. Then let's do this. Yeah, function. Right. Then one thing we need here, we need some hooks. You understand? We need some use hooks here. You understand? We need import. I think we need create content here from React. We need use context. Use context, right? From React. Then we might need use states actually. So let's see how it goes. You understand? So so let's pass in the props here. I think here. Mm, let me do this first. No, let me do this. Let me do this. Um, I'm thinking of passing a prompt here, but uh, let's do this first, right? Because I'm not forget we are using TypeScript. Let's do interface, right? Interface, right? Let's name this um shop context type. Then we also name our type. You understand? Let's do backend. This is the this we want to be passing backend URL should be what? Don't forget it should be string, right? Our backend URL is in string, right? And yep, we are good here. We can now do export const context, right? Is equals is uh this is our create context here. You understand? Then it's passing the type. Yeah, I think you are good. Good. Or if you did not see that, it should be undefined, right? Yeah, let's be sure. Undefined. Yeah, I think this should work for us. Then let's now do interface. So text box. So I need this now. I want to now name this shop text. Mm, make it children, right? I think we should have React node. I think we need something like React node here. Yep, this is what we need. Uh, yep, yep, yep. So now starts here. This here should be shop context provider. This is what is going to be providing here. Provider, right? React function. Plus that which will not shout. Yeah, right. Uh, then yeah, we pass in our shop on this one here, you understand? So we pass it here. So this is what we are using, right? So now passing the plot, right? All these things is something that we have to come and catch up in the next class that we'll be going. This should be an arrow function. Yeah, I think it should be good here. Oh, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be defined here. It should be a const. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So now, what are we now doing now, right? We now want this to now this our backend URL that we've named as string. You understand? We now call it here, right? You can actually call it anywhere. Oh, let's call it here. Once it comes, it should be a string, please. It's equals to, right? What is our endpoint? This is our backend URL. Then let's go and look for our backend. You know, we've done for content. We use render for backend. Let's go and look for. I hope I still have audio on this video. Okay. This is our backend. This is our URL. Let me just copy. I think this. Let me just use this. Understand? So you just see it. Okay, sorry. For this place, there's one thing there. We schedule that we'll be talking to the API back to back, so you don't have to get a time whereby your API will be time your backend will be there to be loading for forever like this. It's because we've not been loading for long that's why it's giving us that. So now see our backend, right? Our backend URL. Our backend URL now paste it here. You understand? Because we want this our backend URL to be communicating to every device, like everywhere on the what is it called? So we didn't need return yet. We don't need return yet, but then we still need return. So now we now need the value that we want this one to be in all our components. That is the main use of this context. When we want this context is when you want this and this context here to to be available in any place when you call it, right? So let's now take our value. hope this video is not getting long. It's real actually. Then don't forget our sub context type. Yep. What do you think? Yeah, that is a string, right? Then let us now pass it now. Uh this this here is not coming here, right? Right? This can be but this is not used yet. So now let's now make use of it now officially. So in this our return statement now we now need uh our context, you understand, to be now be available everywhere that we call it. So we can now do it like on context, yeah. We now add provider to it. Actually, it's not actually define this uh okay, wait first. Uh yeah, this our sub contents here is different. So dot provider, you understand? Yeah, this will work. Then you have to now close what's happened to my keyboard? You have to close it, right? Like this. But for here, you now have to pass in this value for it to be available, right? Now the value is equals to this value. Yeah, I think we are fine. Then the pros should go as children. Don't worry, when you come and register for our advanced class, right, you would get in-depth knowledge of everything. You understand? There will be a breakdown, children. Yeah. So now I think we need to export it. You understand? You have to export this that it will be available everywhere where we go. Can I do export default? Should we no? If you give it this use shop contents. All this name I'm giving it. If you are following, you can give it any name you want. But I believe a shop is when you keep something. You understand? So it's just and I'm mostly used with building e-commerce website. So I'm used with the name, right? So con context. Yeah, I think this was I'm going to be using like this should pass shop context here. So now let's now return it. Return. Many people have their way of doing this, but this is my own convenient way. Right? Yeah. Don't get bored. Don't get bored. You're learning programming. Don't get bored. Uh, okay. I'm trying to check the code very well if I have any error before I start. No, I suppose we're supposed to be working on wrapping up our app with this, but then let me check if you have. Now let's now work with uh uh our shop contents should be in. We don't really need to do this here, but then we can just do can just do this, right? Because I want to keep this name here. Just return use context like this and pass in shop context. I think we should be good. Export default. Yep. hmm I think it will be good like this. And if there's any error, we try our best to fix it, right? We try our best to fix it, right? Now we have to actually wrap our file, our what is it called, with this so that we can actually get this content provider everywhere. So let's go to our main.js here. So we have to import um shop context provider, right? Then just add it here. Yep. Now by default everything should our context should work. If I'm not if there's no any mistake, right? So now let's go and get let's come here. Now we now want to use this context here, this app this thing that we will be creating here, this value here, uh, this value we are down. This value here, we want to use it here, you understand? But then there's another thing I would like us to use for state management. You understand? I use um Redux and Tank, but then I want us to um use I want to make a post request. I want to use React query, you understand? But it has its own state management, you understand? So but then we should use React query, right? And I'm still going to be working with Redux which is why I'll explain the next video or something. So let us import React query. Sorry, npm I React query. So you can go to documentation. What is going on? That's that. Yeah, I think this will work. Yeah. Now I think this video is going to get long. Now I want to work with React query. So now we work with our state management, whereby we can now we've linked the front end with the backend and the backend with the front end. Now we are working on this post request now. So let me pause this video because I don't want it to get too long. Should I continue? Let's see. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Testing. I think the other video was 1 hour too, but let's go. Um, Let me pause this video then we continue the next video.